we put on this land about 1,200 hectares of dry season rice for cultivation last year alone. And as you can see, during the dry season, we've started immediately at my back is the nursery fields, and at the back, far back, is the field where the rice will be planted. We've just started the GS or the dry season, and you can see our farmers, some of them are under sales. You can see our tractors and our equipment. We have a combine harvesters, we have dredgers, and multiple tractors that are on the field working.
Questions? Was this area affected by flood? How has the state government been able to overcome the challenges of the after effects of the flooding last year? And then what are some of the challenges that the farmers are experiencing? I'm expecting that you will know because they should be communicating with you. Thank you.
Right here. Is it the Faro 44 variety that is here? Which we are told that it has no second multiplier effect. Otherwise, this particular place will not be enough for this field we are seeing. Can you explain this?
1,200. Please let me go straight to the answers to the questions. For the flood, yes, a whole local government in the state was under the flood. That is Ibaji. This place was flooded. Immediately, the government of Kogi State put in a flood relief palliative for farmers, and that one resulted in the state developing the land for the farmers, and as the water recedes, the farmers start planting. The state gave the farmers hybrid seeds as well as farm inputs in terms of agrochemicals with extension support to the farmers. Talking about the rice variety, yes, we have upland and lowland rices. It depends on where we are planting. As far as we are concerned, last year was the first cycle of the rice planting. That's why I said we came into limelight during the last year's dry season, and we had our rice directly as a flood subsidy from the federal government of Nigeria through the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. As for the challenges facing by farmers, yes, the challenges facing farmers are what we have overcome at our staple crop processing zone, which we should soon be getting there tomorrow. The challenges are simple: tractors, finance, hybrid seeds, fertilizers, and efficient and timely and relevant farm information. All this, the state has taken cognizance, and we have put up a mechanism challenging these challenges facing the farmers. The cost of the project, yes, in terms of internal rate of returns, let me put it as internal rate of returns. The cost of the project is enormous. Initially, we started with about something close to 100 million. But eventually we discovered we have to buy so many equipment, tractors, dredgers, and so many other things. But the change in the livelihood of the farmers who participated is what the state measures, because the state believe we have a social responsibilities to the electors as duty bearers. So because in youth village on this farm, about 150 hectares of land cultivated by the youths. We are just at the beginning of the dry season, and that is why you find our tractors clearing the land. By the time we move in you will see that the land preparation is ongoing. And as you can see, you find our youth welcoming you at the checking point, which tells you that youth and women involvement is very, very high in our agricultural intervention in Kogi State. Yes, the federal government graciously gave us 2 giant rice mills, and one is to be sited in Odu for Oguma and Basa Aziz, the other one in Ida for Ida and Ibaji Aziz. At the same time, our appreciation goes to Koika, Korean International Cooperation Agency. Graciously, they donated 5 rice mills to us during the last flood disaster, and all those rice mills, we are buying other components to complete it so that we can put it into use during this harvesting season.
Further insight, but because of time constraints, we opted to stand on this spot and then explain and take questions and comments. But the intervention I would like to make is, again, to invite the attention of members of the TOR team to the unfolding irrefutable evidence of the commitment of the federal government to ensure that Nigeria attains self-sufficiency in rice production no later than year 2015. For those of you who have been with us on the tour, if you were in Ebonyi State, you would have seen what the federal government and the state governments and private individuals are doing with respect to rice farming as well as rice milling. And in the last leg of our tour, we were in Kogi State, and you saw hundreds of kilometers of space of land being cultivated for rice. In Katsina, also in Zamfara, the Bakalori Dam that had some social economic crisis at the time of its inauguration more than 30 years ago is today being used to water the farmlands for rice production. And here we are on the first day of our visit to Kogi State. We are seeing again evidence of cooperative federalism between the federal government and the state government with regard to providing adequate support to ensure that there's the realization of the federal government's objective of our having self-sufficiency in rice production. That way, we reduce our rice imports. That way, we decongest our ports. That way, we save on our forex. But I'd like to make a point. Perhaps we'll visit other sites. Kogi State government, from what I have seen, we were at the soya beans farm a moment ago, and here we are. If you look at the signboard on this site, as well as the signboard at the soya bean farm, it is titled Agricultural Transformation Agenda. Kogi State is unabashed in adopting the federal government's own title of Agricultural Transformation Agenda. What is in the name? It is in the substance. And part of the substance, as we have seen here, is that Kogi State is well on the same page with the federal government in ensuring that we are a country that can feed ourselves, that we are a country that can provide jobs through agriculture and engage our youth and create wealth thereby. We thank you. Thank you very much.